holding here on Chatzer Beis, the bottom of Chatzer Beis, Moshe of Yitzchak. It said at the line, Moshe of Yitzchak Shmuel Yerokos, Shemeit Ben Chovas and Pesach, Yoitbe, the morer, the Yerokos, the person is Yoitze, with morer, is Yoitze Behen with them, with the Yerokos, Ubi Klachshem, and the stalks, the hard part of it, the root. But not if it's cooked, or more if it's pickled, if it's kavush, soaked, or if it's cooked in water. The difference between shlukin and v'shal is that shlukin is like long cooked. It's cooked a lot. It's like a real thick soup, and v'shal is just cooked. But either way, you're not eating it. Now, if we say they make a dom on shlukus, right, and it's bimusayu koi, it retains its identity. So shlukin and my loy. So why not? Why is it it's not called bar? The Gemara answers, Shani also to be in tam mora. It's technically it might be mora, but you don't taste the mora anymore, so that's not. You can't be yaitz for lekir. Only Rabbi Yomi other b'zeira, Rabbi Yechanan heichi. Okay, Rabbi Yechanan heichi mivorach al zayis b'liach. Right, we said the story before. Rabbi Yechanan made a bracha on zayis b'liach, on an olive. So, frankly, one second. Let's analyze this. Okay, now in other words, besides he made a bracha on it, even though it was somewhat cooked, it was like maliach, fine. But there's another technical problem. Kevan d'shekine, the galine. Once it removes the pit of the olive, so then if all he ate was an olive, what's the shiur? So how do you make a bracha acharayna without a shiur? What's the shiur bracha acharayna? Kazayis. But kazayis means kazayis. So if you actually have an olive and you move out the pit, which takes up a lot of space inside, so you're missing the shiur. You didn't eat the shiur. So he says, well, maybe he says kazayis gadol, kazayis benefit. No, the shiur of the bracha is a regular size, a small, regular size olive. That's what you have. I see the comment of it was a size good. It was a big olive. So even a big olive, if you take out the pit, so then the Garinos say poshle shiure. It's not zayish, just talk about the sizes of olives. Zayish omelo kotam gadol beinani. Right, the olive to the shear is not too small, not too big. So it's an average size olive. And that's the olive we gave the shear, but this olive was bigger, so taking out the pit is not going to affect, it's not going to take it below the necessary shear. It's not Zai Sha'amu, it's not going to go, Zeo Aguri, which is describing the olive, olive is called a guri. I mean, we're like Guri Shmoyla, Avruti Shmo, or Avruti, or like some Rumi. Why? What's his name? Lo Mikra Shma Guri. Shishmeino Ogavitzayo, because it has a very special characteristic, the olive. It's got this oil that's it's like it's contained inside it. You just have to pull it, squeeze it out, and it's got all this it's holding all this oil inside of it. Okay, Rabbi said we're on Lamed Tesam and Aleph. By name of Kitanoim. We need to say, we're going to say this might be a machlokes Tanoim as to what shlokis are. We discussed a lot yesterday that vegetables are cooked a lot, and they're made, and they change almost. They almost turn into like a soup. So is that something new? It's a shahakol, or is it, or it remains hadama as a vegetable? So we're going to say maybe it's machlokes tonight. I don't trade on media. These are two tonight. Daviyasa Kamed Bakapara, and they were talmidim Bakapara, and they revealed the fun of kruv drumsikinu pargias. So they have a big meal here, and in this meal they're served three things. They're served cabbage, drumsikin. We'll see what that is in a moment. It's going to be the shlokes. Drumsikin is the shlokes. And pargios is chicken, is the meat of the chicken. So Nosson Makapar Rishus, he said, okay, you make a bracha and eat. So what did he do? Kavatz ubirich ala pargios. He ate the chicken first. And his friend, says, like, what are you doing? You can't do that. We'll see. We're going to see in the sugi here. We'll see coming up more that there's rules to the order of brachos. And so that was the story there. So his friend looked at him, made a face at him. Koyis Bakapara. Now Bakapara got upset. I'm upset. Why you? Who said he did anything wrong? Why? He's someone like he never tasted meat in his life. He's starving for this meat. So in other words, he's saying that even though normally the bracha is on the dama first, not the shahakol, but there is a possibility that since it's chaviv to him, so we'll see that maybe that could be the reason why he made the bracha first. It may be considered a legitimate reason. Chaza. Now what happened is Bakapar thought about it. And he said, you know what? No. I'm not angry with the lagli, with the friend El Alam Levorach. That which he did is wrong. And he koyes. In Chochma ein kan zikta ein kan. There's no proper knowledge here, and there's certainly no age. In other words, they should have asked. They should have asked me what to do. This is not right. Because of the interesting, even though he changed his mind, because he was koyes on both of them at some point, they didn't live out the year. So let's go back and let's understand what were they really arguing about. Should you make on the shlokas first? So Gemara explains. What were they arguing? He assumed that shlokas themselves, he's the shita, that once you cook the vegetable, it becomes shahakol. So therefore, now I have the pargios and chaviv olive. So therefore, of course, I go on the chaviv. That's for sure. If every all brachos being equal, so the bracha is on the chaviv. Malagim said, what do you mean? Shlokas are dama. So therefore, so if it's a dama, you make a dama first. So that's what he said. It's machlokes tanaim. So you see here, they're also arguing as to what is the din of shlokas. So the Gemara rejects the argument. Not necessarily is this a proof that there's an argument in shlokas. Perhaps everyone at the shlokas. So what's the fuss? Why not make on the pargios first? So here the machlokes is was a chaviv is adif, you like the chicken, or even so the kruv would be adif because it's zayin. There's other reasons why something should have kedima. Something which is really the main part of the meal. It's zayin, so that should be you make the bracha first. So let's see a little more. These pieces, these chopped up lefes. It's a vegetable. It's like a radish type of vegetable. Prambinu primi. If you make it rabba, if you make it into big chop, you chop it into thick pieces. The brachos by pridama. Prima zuta. But if you dice it into tiny little pieces, so then prima zuta. Shakol nebidvora. Because then it loses its identity. It doesn't quite taste the same. It's different. That was the havamina. No, I don't buy this. Idi by pridama. But you chop. Why'd you chop it so tiny? It actually gives a sweeter taste to it when the more the juices are coming out, the more it's chopped or whatever it is. So therefore, it's still a dama. A little more. Cooked beets soup. So there, since the recipe does not call for flour, so the bracha is by priyadama. The lifta, whereas the cooked liftas, lefes, the mafshi bekimcha, where the recipe calls for flour, trey, you make a by mizayis. For other amar, you need by priyadama. No, then we say, no, really it's a dama. But why? That's flour. So the Gemara answers, yeah, but how the shari bekimcha trey, this is called lidbuke ba'alma of the law. So that's a rule. Remember that rule, that when you add flour to be just as a, not for taste, but just as a binder, just to be something or thickener, something for the texture of the food, so that does not change the bracha. That even though we see normally, whenever there's flour mezainis, you make a mezainis, here or not. In the bouquet we don't. It's insignificant. Again, it's the beet soup, the cooked beets, is yafel alev. It's very healthy for your heart. It's good for your eyes. Certainly it helps your digestion. That's if it's cooked slowly. It's cooked with a lot of heat. So with a lot of heat, slowly, intensely. That you hear it boiling the whole time. The juice that's cooked out of the beet is like the beet. And the juice is not only the cooked vegetable, but all the soup with it is also the same bracha. Now this is a different vegetable, which we'll see in a second what you use it for. It's a vegetable they use not really to eat. We'll see what it has a different function. So the juice, of cooking of the shifta, what's the din? Do we say some tukitaima of it? It's like it gives taste. So maybe the juice also has it make a shakal on it. It sweetens the food. Or just use it as an absorbent. It absorbs stuff in the pot, so we put it in for the absorb. It's not really food. Tashma, but now, what do you see? Here it's talking about that once it's already used up, it's not called food anymore. It doesn't have truma. But you see from here that when you put it in the gdeira to give tam, you should do tam. It gives tam. You see, it's made to give tam. See, the more up here, but Rashi pas numa bekara. So Rashi learns stuma means it's dried up bread, and which is soaking, and it's little pieces. It's got snumas dakas, it's little pieces of bread. So he says, no, you can't make a moitzi. He talks tichla bracha in a pas. You always have to have a piece of bread and then break it with the pas. So if they're already tiny little pieces, you don't make a moitzi. So big bechiddush, it's a little hard to hear this. Taisus learns a little differently. He learns that. Now, of course, you're just saying you don't make you make hamoitzi something else. Look at the chila first, which is shalom, which is better. Now, one second, you're saying you always finish the bracha with the hamoitzi, with the and you break it with the bracha. But then when you're breaking it with the bracha, it's also you have the same problem. You're making it, it's the bracha. The end is on the piece. So here also, al pas nami kika amar prusaka. So if it's a regular bread, you make the bread, you break it in the bracha. So then at the end of the day, the bracha is on the prusa. So we're going to change it a little bit. Elam, so next page. Elam rava b'varach b'achach b'tzeya. So no, finish the bracha, completely finish the bracha, and then break the bread, then cut the bread. And the Gemara says, "Nadai avdikir abkiya." In the middle, they broke it right away. Rabbanan avdikir rava. They're the first to make the bracha. Amar Ravina, Amar Li'em, Avuch, your mother's, your father told me about your father avdikir abkiya. So Amar Li'em that Avuch, your father, did like abkiya. So Amar abkiya tzar shetiv la bracha mapas. And the Rabbanan avdikir Rabbanan v'ilchus rava. You for the varech, we make the bracha. And we finish the bracha, and then we cut the bread, we break the bread. Okay.